He is Arif Naqvi, Chief Executive of Abraaj Capital. Thanks very much indeed for coming in to speak to us. I just want to start by asking you more generally about your outlook for 2011, not just for Dubai, but for the GCC region. Is there much optimism here?
I think when we talk about the GCC region, we first have to start talking about the area around us. So we have to talk about the European debt crisis. We have to talk about how things are going to play out in Europe. And my own perspective on that is that we haven't seen the worst yet. There is, in my opinion, more turbulence to come, and that will affect all markets globally. But within this region, I think that we are, relatively speaking, an oasis of calm. I think we've gone through the turbulent period. I think we've come out of it well. Governments have been very responsive and reactive. Infrastructure spending has gone up, which means that, in turn, people within the business community are seeing the effect of government outflows. So by and large, I'm pretty optimistic for the region for 2011.
You don't envisage possible obstacles as many sort of sovereign-related entities look to kind of refinance debt later on? You sound very optimistic, but is a part of you concerned that there could be more pain to come?
Look, the problem whenever people from outside look at this region is they're obsessed by issues around sovereign wealth funds and thinking that the region is about big money and oil. Actually, the region is not just about big money and oil. The region is about the fact that it is a hub of entrepreneurship, and I think we have to focus on the issues that that gives rise as well. Within this region, in the next 10 to 15 years, the growing youth population means we have to create close to 50 million new jobs just to keep our rate of unemployment constant. Now, if you think about that, then what that is going to create employment around is through entrepreneurship. And, rather than focusing on the sovereign wealth funds and the issues there, why don't we focus on issues around that job creation and employment?
Absolutely, and you say that entrepreneurship and the growth of small and medium-sized businesses crucial to future growth in this part of the world. Given what we've seen happen in Europe, something you could say perhaps we've seen something of a siege, or it has affected debt markets in this part of the world and the outlook for bank lending. I mean, what are the obstacles in terms of companies, businessmen raising the money that they need to go out there and invest?
I think the banking community, the banking sector, is also beginning to shake off the effects of what it considered to be a crisis around the sovereign wealth funds. I think money needs to flow, especially to the SME sector, because what you have to realize is close to 80% of this region's employment is in the SME sector. That's a very large number. And by the same token, only about 25% of the GDP. So you need to be at an equal level, which means that the growth factors in that segment are very, very large, and banks realize that. So I think cash will flow into that segment.
And you mentioned sovereign wealth funds a little bit earlier, and of course the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority immediately comes to mind, widely acknowledged as the world's largest. And I suppose they will be looking at opportunities abroad, particularly in Europe right now. Could be a good buying opportunity. There's some cheap deals going there. Do you think they're looking much in this region?
I think they are. I mean, I can't comment on their strategy because I don't know them. But what I do know is that opportunity is beginning to stand up again in the region. There's some great buying opportunities, and the expectations of sellers are also beginning to get readjusted. So I think you're going to see a lot of activity in 2011, actually.
Right, well, great to talk to you. Great to get your thoughts on a range of issues. Abraaj Capital CEO Arif Naqvi, thank you.
Thank you.